Just like you had a passion for the game of basketball and you became successful, same thing in business. You got to have a passion for it. And so that's the best advice I can give someone. Make sure you have trustworthy people around you.
Wow. Talk about words of wisdom. Welcome to Boardroom Sports, the podcast that helps former professional athletes collaborate within their investments. Today, I'm honored to have the legendary John Starks as my guest. John is a former NBA All-Star, and he also sits on the board of directors of the Garden of Dreams Foundation. Welcome to the show, John. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Ira?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for being here, John. Let's dive right in here now, John. How did you transition from being a professional athlete on the court to now being in the boardroom, now that you're on the board of directors for the Garden of Dreams Foundation?
Uh, it was about 2 years after I retired that I started working for the Knicks in their front office as my full-time job with the Knicks is alumni relations. That entails that I do a lot of community events. I do in-game appearances, whether it's going up to the suites and dealing with some of our suite holders or doing, you know, pictures on the court, meet and greet, and basically just whatever they need for me to do from a community standpoint. So I'm kind of like the face of the organization in the community, along with myself and Left John. We shared roles. Uh, but working with this, actually, I was coaching for about 2 years once I retired, and then the Knicks saw me and asked would I fulfill a role that legendary Willis Reed had, and that he had to move back to Louisiana to take care of his mother, and so I jumped at the chance, started working for the organization again, and just along the way. Uh, the Knicks and Matt Square Garden started the Garden of Dreams Foundation, and I asked was I be part of the board there, and I jumped at the chance to do that because uh, I do that with my own foundation, community stuff, and that's the biggest charitable piece of the garden is the Garden of Dreams Foundation. We do so many things to help kids that are in need and families that are in need. Uh, so I was very proud and honored to become a part of that.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing, John. Thank you for your efforts, and the foundation is unbelievable. I know it provides a lot of dreams to youth that wouldn't be able to afford or get access to. So for you to be heavily involved in that dictates what type of person you are. And thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. What, John, was the hardest transition? I guess being an athlete, you're used to playing, training, eating properly, daily, every day. What was the hardest transition from that life into now, putting on a suit and tie, if you will, and being the boardroom aspect of an athlete?
Yeah, when I first retired, I played golf every day. That's what I did, and I found myself getting into a rut mentally and physically. I started to add weight. Because once you retire as an athlete, you really have to watch what you do because you're so used to a routine, just like what you're saying, and you eating, and putting in all these carbs, but you burning them off when you play, so they really didn't affect you. And so once I retired, I was still eating the same way I did when I was playing, but I wasn't working out at the same intensity. So, I gained 40 pounds within the year, and I found myself like physically, not in good health. And I can remember walking up stairs in my house, and I to the top of the stairs, and I was breathing hard. I'm like, this is not gonna work. And so from that point, I started working out every single day to drop weight, and I dropped like 20 pounds in probably a month and a half, 2 months, just to get down to 210 pounds. And so uh, then I got offered an opportunity to come coach the Westchester Wildfire, a team up in White Plains. It was a USBL team, and that really like energized me. And so I did that for like 2 years. Then the Knicks saw me up there, and asked would I come and join the organization.
Wow, that's unbelievable. A world-class athlete, literally in less than a year, could put on 40 pounds. You would think it would take a lot longer than that. But wow, it just it's eye-opening, and food for thought. Not necessarily the food, but the thought part for everyone out there. So thanks for sharing that, John. Really, really appreciate that insight, so forth. Now, from coming again from the court into the boardroom, can you just add or talk a little bit about the value that sporting events, and why it's such an important business tool and opportunity for corporate America? Again, now that you came from the court or in the boardroom.
Well, I would say most athletes have that drive to be successful. I think uh, corporations like that in athletes because I know when I go speak at corporations, I see former athletes that's sitting across from me, and I think that they understand that athletes don't go far and beyond, and whatever it takes in order to get the job done, and so um, and there's no quit in it. I think that's one thing that corporations understands about individuals that play sports. They know how to work along with a team, and they know how to be committed. I think that's very important to be successful in whatever you do in life is have that commitment and make sure you see things through. And athletes are built just that way. And so I think the transition, once you make that transition, you can use all the skills that you learn on the playing field and you can transfer them into business. And because the majority of people that I know that are successful have played some type of sports. They may not have played it at a high level like I did, but whether it was in high school, whether it was in college, they played some type of team sport, and that truly helps transition you into the business world.
No, I mean, absolutely, John. I couldn't have said it better. From my experience, I've seen it at these major sporting events. The synergies are incomparable. And as you said it very well, it comes down to work ethic. I believe you learn that from a young age as an athlete, of showing up not only on time, but a little bit early to be prepared and ready for the practice, not showing up time of the practice. And that's a difference maker on both the court and in the boardroom. So I appreciate that and agree with you wholeheartedly. Now, just want to switch gears here. You talk about golf before, John. I'd like for you to talk about how, again, you got started in a game, because personally, I've been blessed to play with you. You're not a good golfer, John. You're a great golfer.
Thank you. Thank you. I actually got started uh, back in 1994 after the finals. Uh, Obviously, that was a rough final for me. The last game, a seventh game, I had the worst game that you could possibly have as an athlete, uh, especially playing for a championship. And you dream about those moments uh, to be able to, complete the task. And I wasn't able to do my part in helping us win a championship. Failed miserably, and it was like the worst feeling that I had going into that summer. I mean, it took, pretty much the whole summer just to get over it and really like, have people around me to support me and from a mental standpoint. I mean, my wife and my kid, there was big help. Uh, but I was just down in the dumps. and for good reason. You know what I mean? This is something that you dream about winning at the in the NBA. It's a championship, and I just didn't get it done. So during that summer, Herb Williams asked me to go out and play golf. Like, man, I don't want to play no golf. And he's like, come on, man, let's go out and play golf. So I went, was terrible in the beginning, hitting balls. Then that one good shot is what hooked me. It's like, man, I could do this. Every golfer who plays understands that. And once you hit that one good shot, you're like, why can't I do this all the time? And just the athlete in me, just wanted to get better at the sport itself. So I really dove into it that summer, and I probably shot about 100 and something, like most people do when they first start playing. And but as the summer went on, I broke 100, which most people don't break probably a year or two, playing the game. And so, but the athlete in me said that, I had to put in the same amount of work that I did when I was playing at the time. And I just committed myself to just working hard because I saw all these other athletes getting involved in golf. And I said, there must be something to it. And once I got into it, and you start traveling and going to different courses and what have you, and you see the beauty in the game, just like I saw the beauty in the game of basketball, you really start to enjoy it. And plus it frees you up mentally to just get away from whatever's going on in your life, and you got 4.5 hours to go out there and just enjoy the game, be out here amongst nature.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing. I mean that's a true testament of your true colors, John. I mean, going back, you were an undrafted free agent that made it not only into the NBA, but you're an NBA All-Star. So your dedication is, to me, is unmatched, and it gives me a lot of reasons to go forward and so forth. I have a lot of drive being a former athlete as well, so I can understand and appreciate that. So thank you so much for sharing that, John. Um, there's actually a huge celebrity charity golf event at Trump National on September 5th. We're benefiting the Community Police Relationship Foundation. John, obviously, you're invited to be a guest. I wanted to see, obviously, if hopefully you are able to make it. It'll be at Trump National again. And this is a live offer. Can you make it, John?
Yeah, I'm trying to free my schedule up. I see some on my schedule. I'm trying to free that up. But if I get that taken care of, I'll definitely be there. I love for a tournament such as this that's going to that helps the community.
CPRF Foundation, the Community Police Relations Foundation, is an organization committed to fostering positive relationships between the community, law enforcement, and first responders. The foundation adopts a two-pronged strategy, providing support to both our communities and law enforcement. We just don't send money, we actively participate. The foundation is comprised of citizens who back law enforcement agencies and rely solely on membership fees and donations for funding. We give away backpacks, scholarships, turkeys to the inner city youth, veteran support, food pantries, and distributions. The CPR Foundation was created in January 2018 to improve relationships within communities by facilitating positive interactions with uniformed police officers. The goal is to reassure communities that first responders are striving to keep our communities safe. CPR Foundation operates in the community level from Miami to New York, New Jersey, Chicago, LA, and beyond. In the last 6 years, the foundation has supported numerous initiatives to create unified and harmonious relationships between the community served and law enforcement. The initiatives include food for individuals, scholarships, disadvantaged neighborhoods. Police officers are participating, actually giving out these awards as well as foods. To learn more about CPR Foundation, please visit www.cprfcharity.org. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I have to ask this as we start to wrap this up. As a huge Knicks fan, this past year was the most promising and exciting season the Knicks have had in many, many years.
I'm excited. I really am. I've been excited for the last 2 years. You know, and it's been tough watching a team that I felt had an opportunity to win a championship last year, especially with the addition of OG coming in. Hart, you know, the way he was playing, and obviously Jalen Brunson, and let's not forget Julius Randle and DiVincenzo, and then the whole crew. You know, Hardenstein. You know, the way those guys played this year was amazing. The unfortunate thing about it is injuries. Injuries gets the best of you, and you look at the Boston Celtics. They probably was the most injury-free team in the league this year. Uh, During the playoffs, they were the most injury-free team. You know, our guys, you know, kept falling like flies. You know, from game to game, it seemed like we didn't know who was going to be out there on the court. And that really hampered our chances of truly competing for a championship this year, especially when Julius went down. I thought if we had a full team, we could have went and beat Boston and be the representative of the East. And but that wasn't to be this year. But you know, Leon and management have made some great additions to the team this year, bringing in Mikael Bridges, obviously getting OG back on board, getting him signed, and Julius coming back, you know, healthy, and Jalen obviously had a thumb injury at the end of the season. He got that repaired, so we're looking for some great things from this team, and I feel like you know, the East has got better as a whole. You know, Philadelphia, you look what they doing down there, bringing Paul George in, and you know, Miami obviously is going to be a formidable opponent. Boston is going to be Boston. Uh, you know, Milwaukee is going to be back in the mix. So it's going to be a tall task, but I feel that we have the team to be able to come out and represent the East this year for a championship.
Yeah, with those words, I hope as well, John. It's the future is definitely bright again for the New York Knicks, and I love to see it. All right, John. So aside from coming off the court and into the boardroom, being on the board of directors of Garden of Dreams, you own some car dealerships. Can you share a little bit about that? Where they are, why you opened them?
Yeah, I was very fortunate enough uh, to join some incredible partners at Ford Lincoln the Queen. Friend of mine who I've been knowing for a long, long time, along with his father, Joe, Joe Senior, uh, and Joe Junior. Asked would I do some marketing for the car dealership, and I said sure. And so our marketing went on for a couple of years. Then he saw an opportunity to get into a Kia dealership and asked would I be a part of it, would I want to be a part of it. And I said sure. You know, I enjoy that business. I think it's a great business to be a part of. I know time out in Utah, Carl Malone as well as John Stockton had a couple of dealerships, and they loved it. You know what I mean? And was very successful. You look at John Elway, he had a ton of dealerships, and ended up selling and made tons of money. And so I jumped at the chance to be a part of that. And you know, I'm very fortunate. We went bought the dealership during COVID, and we started in December of 2021. We've been rocking ever since with the Kia dealership, and that turned into getting a Ford dealership. Excited about you know the opportunity there to be able to be a part of the Ford family too, uh, and so and plus you know we're doing it in the community uh, that we wanted to be a part of it, which is Queens, and we hire from the community, and so we giving back in that way, and we do a lot of sponsor sponsorship within the community. So no, it's been great, and exciting business to be a part of.
Wow, that's amazing. And John, what's the name of that dealership we could share with all the viewers?
John Stark Kia and Stark for the Queen.
That's fantastic. So not only are you making an impact in the community, um, obviously giving back to your beliefs, which is just amazing, and at the same time, you're putting your persona as an investment, right? You're taking again from the corp to the boardroom. You're a perfect example of how to do that. Um, can you give anyone, maybe some athletes out there that were in your shoes, some advice how to transition from that? Because there's a lot of people calling you, a lot of lurkers, if you will. I hate to use that term, but it's true. So, what would John Starks, as a successful businessman, now tell former athletes how to transition into this?
Well, I would say first and foremost, make sure that whoever you go in business with, that you know this person very well. You know, my business, uh, being involved in the car dealerships, I've been going through shoot, ever since my playing days back in the '90s, and so I know what type of person he is, and I know what type of group uh, that partners that I'm involved in, that they honest individuals, and that's the most important thing because you got, like you say, so many people that's coming at you for to invest in this, to do this, do that, and you know it sounds like a good idea, but you really don't know these people, and all of a sudden you get involved in it, and then you get the shaft in the end. You know what I mean? And so I think first and foremost you have to get be able to know who you're going into business with. That's the number one thing. And also, you know, make sure that you have time to be a part of the business. You know, I've been in a situation like that where I like, man, this sounds good, and you know, you get your money, but you off doing other things, and the business is not doing what you expect for it to do because it's not involved on a daily basis, and so uh, that is very difficult pill to swallow, knowing that you lost a lot of money because of that. You know, you don't give your time to the business like you gave your time to the game of basketball, the game of football, the game of baseball. You know what I mean? And so you have to position yourself and make sure that you go into some type of business that you're going to be able to have a passion for. And so, just like you had a passion for the game of basketball and you became successful, same thing in business. You got to have a passion for it. And so, that's the best advice I can give someone. Make sure you have trustworthy people around you.
Wow. Talk about words of wisdom. Thanks so much for that, John. Clearly, trust, key factor. Align yourself with a product or company that has the same beliefs and goals that you do. That to me is setting yourself up for success. So, most importantly, thank you for sharing that, John. Great advice, not only for athletes, but for anyone looking to get involved with any corporations at any time. Now, John, do you want to speak briefly about the Garden of Dreams Foundation? Anything you want to share with the audience? Obviously, it's a great foundation. Something you want to share with us?
Yeah, the Garden of Dreams Foundation, like I say, is a charitable arm of the Garden Foundation. Does so much to help kids that are in need, families that are in need, to give them an opportunity to, you know, be a part of the Garden family, whether it's being able to come to a Knicks game, whether it's be able to come to a Ranger game, whether it's be able to go to Radio City Music Hall, and be on the biggest stage in the music industry. Um, you know, the Garden opens its arms to the community because the community has done so much for us and support the Garden as well as the Knicks and the Rangers. It's been amazing just to see the excitement that when the Garden of Dreams get involved in projects, whether it's going into the boroughs and building courts, uh, whether it's going into the boroughs, feed families, whether it's going into boroughs, during Christmas and giving Christmas presents out. The garden, the Dreams does so much for the community, and so that's probably our most rewarding aspect of working there at the garden, besides being a part of the garden, is that we give so much to the community because the community giving so much to us.
Wow, what an incredible foundation, and there's nothing more better than actually giving back. You're actually literally making dreams come true. So thanks so much for John. Thanks so much, John, for that. Your time, your efforts, everything you do for these kids is just truly amazing. Now, lastly, John, I want to talk about your foundation, which is the John Starks Foundation. Can you share a little bit about that? What it's about?
Yeah, yeah. So I started a foundation back in 1994 um, to give out scholarships to kids, graduating seniors in the tri-state area, as well as my hometown, Tulsa, Oklahoma, uh, because I wasn't a heavily recruited athlete coming out because I only played 1 year of high school basketball basically. And so I had to go the same route that majority of graduating seniors have to go look for, you know, scholarship money and to be able to go to school. And so I know the difficulty that was in that. And so I just wanted to, know, be helpful in that sense and giving kids the opportunity to go to college and realize their dreams, to get their future started. And so we've been doing very well for 30 years now, coming up to this date on September, of providing scholarships and continue to help kids as they go throughout their college experience, and some come back and be a part of the foundation. So it's been a blessing from the standpoint of we helping change the lives, and they kids come back and they pay it forward. That's the most important thing. They understand that, hey, I got a helping hand, so let me come back and give that same helping hand, and maybe I can, help change the life of a young person. And so, I'm very blessed to have a young lady by the name of Jennifer Alfred, director of my foundation since the inception, has been doing a beautiful job of making sure that we continue to raise as much money as we can and continue to give out as much money as we can to help these students go off to school.
Truly amazing, John. So not only are you giving and producing something that wasn't available to you, but you're making sure that these generations are reciprocating the same thing. So talk about a legacy. Amazing, amazing. And John, if someone wants to get in touch or reach out to your foundation, how do they do that?
Yeah, you go to johnstarkfoundation.com.
Excellent. Excellent. So if anyone out there, again, it's johnstarksfoundation.com. You heard what the foundation is all about. Feel free to visit his website and give back as much as John does.
Yeah. And I got one last venture that I'm involved in called Hydr8 Heroes. It's a plant-based hydrate drink that we are rolling out, and we're excited about that coming to the market. Right now, we're really heavily involved in military. That's why we call it Hydr8 Heroes, to be able to hydrate yourself in a healthy way. So we're excited about that. You'll hear about us coming soon.
Oh, that's amazing. When do you plan on launching in the near future?
Well, it's launched now, but we're really getting ready to blow it up. So you'll hear about it a little bit more as we go through this year.
Excellent. Well, again, everyone, it's called Hydr8 Heroes, a plant-based way to hydrate yourself, as John mentioned, with the military in mind. So another great cause that Mr. Starks is involved in. John, what an amazing person you are. Really appreciate.
Thank you. I was getting ready to say it. One added to it is that uh, it helps you. We don't want to, you know, say this, but it does help you lose weight because
Even
it
better.
Yeah, encourage your appetite. So I have a drink in the morning, and I don't have to eat until probably about 1 or 2 o'clock during the day. Yeah, for whatever reason, there's a plan in there that truly helps curb your appetite. So it helps keeps me in shape and able to turn on that ball. You know how I do. I able to turn on that ball.
You turn on it like no other. So twofold. It not only hydrates you, but it also induces weight loss. So an amazing product. Again, backed by John Starks. The man doesn't stop. He all he does is give back from the courtroom, from the court to the boardroom, adding value everywhere this gentleman goes. John, I can't again thank you enough for your time, your input, your feedback, your advice to everyone out there, former athletes. How do you get involved? What do I do next? What's the next step? Mr. Starks just spelled it all out for you. Again, this is Boardroom Sports. Bring your top game. I'd like to extend a special thank you to Broad Street Global Fund for helping us make this podcast possible. If you'd like to check them out, go to broadstreetprivateequity.com. Again, this is Boardroom Sports. Be on top of your game.